Hey guys, been reading my opponent's books some more. Been reading some quite big ones. A lot to chew through. But basically, every now and then I'll see these tiny little books that I just can't help but read. I can't help but talk about. So this one was a dead little snack. I just couldn't resist. See if you can, couldn't see it there, could you? Too much spin. Can't see anything. God damn, you'd think Tony Blair wrote it. What have I been reading? It's A Practical Guide to Gender Diversity and Sexuality in Early Years. Oh, in case you're wondering, yes, nursery. We're talking about trans kids in nursery. How to make a nursery into a trans factory. So that's what this is, without the spin. Basically, I had to read this book a few times because it is filled with, George Carlin would call them euphemisms, soft language, stuff that conceals the truth. And boy, oh boy, does this conceal the truth. I'll give you a taste of, we'll go into it, but just on the surface, their mission statement in a how to turn kids into trans nursery. Let's see what it has to say. There should be a statement on the equalities policy and or the vision statement that talks about how we support boys and girls to reach their full potential without stereotyping them. Now what that means, without the spin, is we're going to tell kids, your kids, that gender isn't a real thing, that it's optional. Not only that, we are going to fire or constructively dismiss, otherwise get rid of, anybody who disagrees with us. A cult, essentially. Unsurprisingly, this is the woke guys. This is the woke cult. You've seen them in politics, you've seen them in Hollywood, and all the great movies that they make. They're in universities, you kind of get it, activism and stuff like that. But nurseries? Oh my god. That's where they should be. No, that's not okay, is it? So, I feel like I have a responsibility. Because I don't think a lot of people read these books, and I feel like I should tell you, especially parents, here's what you should look out for in these places. So if you're taking little Jimmy or little Sarah in, what have we got here? I wrote it down. That's it. Well, first, we've already covered that one. Anything with a mission statement. Be very careful. Here's the sneakiness that these guys do. They use words that are totally redundant to use. They'll say things like, we encourage children to be expressive and equal and free. What was the other word they used? It's things that you don't really need to... Safe. You don't need to say that. If a nursery has to advertise itself on being safe, what were the other nurseries doing? But the reason why they're using these words is because it's the lubricant as for something else. What they're really too scared to tell you is that they're going to push their personal ideology onto your kids. But they won't say that. I'll say that. When you read through the lines in the spin, that is exactly what they're saying. That is exactly what they're manufacturing. The shell, the system that they're making, it's that. Not about equality, not about expression, which I'm all for. Express yourself, kids. And here's the thing. I know kids who turned out to be gay in senior school, and they were definitely, I wouldn't say the word gay, but they were definitely born that. I wouldn't use the word gay for kids, because kids don't have sex, and you shouldn't be using sexual terms for kids. There's no such thing as a straight 4-year-old, because the kids, there's no such thing as a gay 4-year-old, because they're not having sex. They're just kids. They become straight or gay, really, when they start having sex. And to talk about sexuality, and these cheeky buggers, they say we're going to be accused of talking about sex with kids. But no, we're talking about sexuality. Today's children are tomorrow's adults. So they're talking about sexuality with kids. Now, how do you talk about sexuality with kids without talking about sex? You can't not talk about mom and dad because you don't exist without mom and dad. And even when sex comes up about mom and dad, they cover it with like birds and bees or the swallow brought it to us. You just don't talk about sex with kids. This movement really, really, really wants to. And it masks it. It clothes itself in expression and safety and equality. So equality is the main one, actually. equality practice comes up a lot. Equality practitioner. That's the it's kind of like a shield and a club at the same time. It's like they're bullies with the vulnerability. The vulnerabilities. Vulnerably. So yeah, they say they're being safety, and how can you criticize that? You know? But anyway, listen, like, look out for the vague language. They're hiding something. But when you go in there, you pay attention to something. Pay attention to the environment. Some of these guys do is they remove gender stereotyped things. So if you go to the dressing up area, there'll be no costumes. There'll be no pirates or Iron Man or Elsa from Frozen or, things that girls and boys like to dress up as. Instead, there'll be the other gender's clothing. So go over there and make sure in this dress up area it's actually for fun for kids. Then it isn't just a cross-dressing area for kids. Here's what they do. They take photos of those kids, encouraging them to challenge gender stereotypes. And they put them on the walls. What kind of person wants to take a load of photos of kids getting dressed, getting, cross-dressed and stuff like that? Who wants to do that? Shit, you've got me. On that subject. That reminds us, actually. A little quick divergence to my history. When I was in nursery... I don't know if I tell this one. Anyway, when I was in nursery, I remember a game. Shit, maybe I should look into this, actually. But I remember when I was in nursery, there was a game we had. It was a sunny day. And the teachers put a paddling pool outside. And the game was, the whole class was there. And the kids whose turn it was in the paddling pool, stripped naked, ran around it, and jumped in to the paddling pool. And then jumped back out again. And they were taking photos of us. And they gave it to our parents. And who else? I don't know. Shit. Is it just normal to take photos of kids? Is it? Or maybe I should look into that. I don't think it is. I'm kind of wondering now. Anyway. They like to take photos of kids. Maybe nurseries do that. Weird, isn't it? Anyway, check out for photos of kids in a cross-dressing area. What else have we got here? Oh. They don't like jokes. No. It's considered the umbrella term of harassment. Do you remember what harassment used to mean? If a girl came back home and she was like, I've been harassed, your dad knows exactly how angry to get. He's going to go and beat the shit out of someone because his girl's been harassed, his daughter's been harassed. But harassment doesn't mean that anymore. Harassment now means jokes, sarcasm. They hate banter. They hate it. Because, of course they do. You've got a ridiculous ideology. Banter is the holy water. It's the stake through the heart. It's the silver bullet to an ideology like this. Of course you can't tell jokes. So parents, look out for that one as well. No jokes. What else have we got here? This is creepy. Very creepy. So parents, when you're taking your kids into these environments, these care settings, these free and expressive care environments, where kids can be anything except a stereotype gender, look out for persona dolls. Now, these are an interesting thing. These are life-size dolls, life-sized children's dolls, specifically, not toys. No. Don't leave them in the toy area with the teddy bears and all the other stuff. You need to treat them like a real person. They're a member of the class. They're a person with a backstory and a name and a history and a gender and a sexuality. And the kids need to talk to this doll like it's a real person and engage with it. And, can you imagine that mentality? Can you imagine? Because it's the same size as them. You know what I mean? I'm like, imagine you sat at the table and you imagine the kind of teachers are here. You sat at the table, you're drawing a picture, and then there's persona dolls next to you. Oh, I've got a pen here. Persona dolls just next to you. And the teacher's like, oh, what are you drawing, Jean? Hey, Jean. Oh, that's a lovely snowplow. Oh, what a lovely polar bear. Your snowplow. Look at it. Tom, it looks good. It looks like a dead body. No, it's a perfectly drawn picture. And then they go swimming. And all the kids are learning how to swim, and they've got the cute little paddling boards. All right, kids, make way for Joan. Oh, my God. It's treating a doll like it's a person is weird. And they are forced. They are forced. They They're going to be in the dinner hall, because it's a real person. So today I have to call it she or he or whatever like that. And it's going to be in the dinner hall like, eat your peas. Here's your sarsaparilla and wash it down. So ask him how his day's been. Poor kids. They've just figured out how that the square peg goes in the square hole, and now they're dealing with this shit. My God, man. That's what you're taking your kids into. And it, like I say, not being forced, because if anybody, I remember this, there's a situation I had where basically women don't really force kids. They've got weird tricks to get them. It's kind of like like a pressure. I remember specifically this happened to me one time. I was in junior school, and there was two girls and a substitute teacher. She was looking after a disabled girl at the time. And we were all sat around a table, and I had an opinion about something. I don't remember what it was now, but I had an opinion, and the two girls didn't like it. And they were trying to talk us out of it. But I knew I was right about this thing, and they were wrong. And they kept going, and I wouldn't take it. I was like, no, I'm right about this. And then the substitute teacher went, well, Lee, don't you think maybe if it was like this way, then maybe it was like that? And she was coming at about it in lots of weird, and she wouldn't stop pressure. And I remember specifically feeling a change of gear, like, I didn't like it. I was like getting pressured. And it was like the girls were just come at pen packing us with words. And I remember specifically, I went, oh, well, if that means that, then I guess it can mean this. And all the girls went, yes. And I went, and I guess if that means that, then it means I was wrong about that. Yeah, yes, Lee, yes. And probably it means that I was wrong about the first thing. Whoa! And they all clapped. And I remember feeling a weird sick feeling in my stomach. I didn't know what happened at the time. I just felt a weird bullying. And it was that clap. Yay! That enforcement that I knew something just happened there. And I didn't like it. And it's going to be all of that with this. They're not going to get hit. They're not going to get told off. They're just going to get told, oh, did you just call Persona Doll she today? Oh, well, it's actually a he. Why are you being awful? Don't be, Persona Doll's upset. Oh, no, it'll be called like Jean or Joan or whatever like that. It'll be that like social pressure, and the kids will just figure out, I get less hassle doing it like this. Sinister. Very sinister. It's, what have we also got? I think that's about it. In me list for parents. Oh, there's me washer. Shit. I forgot I had that on. Yeah. And also, like I say, that was the list for parents to look out for when you're in there. And, because these guys, they'll tell you one thing, and then they'll do another. Basically, they push challenging gender norms. They ensure it. Basically, if you're a kid playing football, they'll ensure you to do something else. They'll push you and pressure you to do something like bake a cake, or, have a girl do something like play football and all that kind of stuff. It's not, they are not doing what they say they're doing by letting you express yourself. They are actively pushing you in a direction. They've tailored their environment to push the kids in that direction, and they don't tell you. They give you mission statements like that. But here's how serious these guys are in challenging gender norms. They were saying things like they want to invite a father with his baby to bathe his baby in front of the kids. Isn't that weird? I think that's weird. These kids were kids 3 years ago. They were being bathed 3 years ago. Maybe they're even still being bathed. You know what I mean? In nursery. They don't need to know how to bathe a baby. And the other one was have a female firefighter come in, which is fine. They can drive the truck and stuff like that. But I was talking to a male firefighter, and he specifically said they can't lift the equipment, and they can't lift fat bastards like me. They can't lift people. Now imagine if I was in a burning building and Alexa Bliss, that wrestler, come in. Okay, I'm gonna take you out of this fight. And she just puts us over, and I crush her and I kill her. But then China comes in, the weightlifter, China, the woman, and she picks us both up and takes us out. Was I sexist just now? No, because I was okay with a female firefighter. It's a strength thing. It's not a female thing. It's a strength thing. It's just typically women don't tend to be bodybuilders. Men are just naturally muscular and strong. They're just naturally that. That's why it just works. Shoo. All this bullshit. Again, I'd say that's just the common thing in this movement, is they seem to want to ruin people. I don't know why. It seems obvious to push people into doing things that are inherently good for them, rather than confusing them. These are 4-year-olds, and they're pushing their personal ideology on them. And this isn't just like, it's almost worse than a religion, because even in religions you have like ideas about the world, and maybe you'll have prejudices, and you will. You'll be made to hate certain people and stuff like that. But this movement certainly does that. It certainly makes you hate certain people. But the worst case scenario is it also makes you modify your body. If these kids are confused and they're getting pressured all the time, yay, little Timmy for dressing up as a girl today, taking photos and putting it on the wall. Shh, this is our little secret. Don't tell mommy and daddy, they're bigots. Oh yeah, that's something else to say. Staff need to challenge parents if they have a problem with it. You believe that? Staff challenging the parents of the baby. I couldn't believe that when I fucking read that. But it just goes to show you that the state sees itself as owning the kids now. That's the feeling. Places like this really push. State owns your kids. You don't. Parents. You give your kids to us. We're going to turn them into our little molds. And it gives me the hint that this is a vision of the future, of something to come. A lot of conspiracy theories around this. I hope it doesn't happen. But I've got a feeling that this might be the famous one world religion that's coming in. The one world religion that might have kids who aren't kids, boys who aren't boys, girls who aren't girls. Everybody's just a person, a thing, a persona. Everybody's just a thing now. Kids just hanging out with dead bodies at dinner tables. Just normalising that with the persona doll, and just normalise that. Normalise trannies reading your stories, because on the gender challenging thing, they want to invite people who challenge gender norms in. Who might that be other than a drag queen? Who's it going to be? A woman who looks dead like a man? So basically I can't go into women's changing rooms because everybody thinks I'm a man, and my extremely long clitoris kind of backs that up, and I tucked it away in my Y front, but that didn't really help. Anyway, that was my gender positive story. Who's it going to be except a tranny? Come on. So, I think this is there's something sinister behind this whole movement. And really, my official opinion on this is, I didn't grow up with this. I don't know, that whole photo thing, maybe that was the case, but gay kids turn out to be gay, lesbians turn out to be lesbians, trannies turn out to be trannies, straight kids turn out to be straight. And you didn't need a woke agenda in nursery for that to happen. They happened by themselves. I wish every gay kid, or gay person, I don't think that's such a thing as a gay kid, but you know what I mean, born gay. I don't think they should have to live a lie. Because I know a few guys who are married with kids, and I know they're gay. You just know it. And they're living a lie. And that's a shame. That is a real shame, when people feel so scared about being themselves that they have to commit so hard to something else, to please somebody else. I'm against that. And in some weird way, I'm arguing for the thing they're advertising but lying about. I want gay kids to be gay. I didn't mean kids, I mean people. Oh, that's going to get fucking... Never mind. I don't want you to lie, because I'm a truther. And the truth is the way. If you're gay, be gay. If you're a lesbian, be a lesbian. If you're straight, be straight. Don't confuse people. Don't say you should be this way or the other. Don't encourage them to be one way or the other. Don't interfere. Leave them the fuck alone. If people are giving you their kids to look after them, just look after them. Don't fucking mold them in your personal belief system. It's wrong.